Hello and welcome to the Aman Talks. I hope you all are having a blessed day. I am Aman saying I'm a hospitality specialist and an empowerment coach. My mission is to uplift service culture and empower people. This is the aim of the show as well, to give you the ideas and the strategies to help you live a prosperous life which has clear purpose, clear vision, and fulfillment. This pandemic brought the world economy to a grinding halt. The damage this pandemic has done is beyond description and repairs. Many people have lost their loved ones, their health, their businesses, and their jobs. I have Subrat Panda, our special guest, to teach us how to maintain our financial health and how to maintain a positive attitude. He's a dear friend of mine who has been my financial advisor for the last 2 years. I have Subrat Panda, our special guest, to teach us how to maintain our financial health and how to maintain a positive mindset. He's a dear friend of mine who has been my financial educator for the last 2 years. Subrat is a senior financial advisor. He came to Canada 11 years ago as a student. He has a background in the hospitality industry. His passion and commitment is to help people by providing financial education. Thank you so much, Subrat, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Aman, for having me. It's my privilege to be here, and I've been watching your shows in the past, and I really think that you're really creating that positive energy and that positive impact out there. And I'm very honored to be on your show. So thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much for your encouraging words and support. My mission is to uplift service culture and empower people. And this is the aim of the show as well, to give people the ideas and the strategies how they can live a prosperous life, which has a clear purpose, vision, and fulfillment. Talking about your background, you have a background in the hospitality industry. How do you end up choosing this profession?
That's a great question, Aman. I get asked this question a lot, and I always say, thankfully, I was in hospitality, and because I really learned my people skills and everything from there. And I started with hospitality about 14 years ago, and I was working in the industry for a long time. And obviously, I had a good experience overall, and I was working in management and finally I realized I don't really have that time and flexibility with my family and all, working long hours and all. But overall, it was good experience. But I realized I'm not really heading anywhere and changing, or really making an impact in other people's lives. So what I was really looking for a cause and work on it or working on it. So when I changed to finance, I really saw the need out there that a lot of people are suffering because of a lack of financial education. And I saw that need. And at the same time, I was making an impact in other people's lives, which really caught my attention. I really fall in love with that cause and, continue to, do so and helping other people achieving their financial goals.
Oh, that's very good. And I totally agree with you. When we do what we love, it gives
Mhm.
us energy, it expands us. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they are stressed, depressed. These days, they are not satisfied with their work. That's the reason that they are going to work which they don't like. Instead of getting energy
Mhm.
from the work they do, they are getting tired. They are unhappy. Once you find your purpose, you know what, God created you to do. So
Mhm.
you're on the right track to live a fulfilling life.
Mhm.
And thank you, you did that so you could help me as well. Thank
Definitely.
you.
It was
You
a
helped
pleasure.
me big time, brother. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for your
my
help.
pleasure. Yeah.
Talking about this pandemic, how much damage this pandemic has done, what do you think people should be doing in context of saving or finding better investing options, and in terms of developing a positive mindset? What do you think? People are so stressed, depressed, and anxious.
Yes. Well, see, we can't really control what's happening out there and the pandemic and other things, but we can always control what we can be doing and what we can see. Things can happen. There's nothing that we can
Yeah.
stop about. But if we can create a positive mindset and you know by doing a different thing or acquire a new skill during the pandemic because everybody was at home doing what they're doing. But if you can learn a good skill during that, then
Yeah.
you would be more, I mean, much ahead than most people. So financial literacy is something you can always learn. It's a learnable skill. And overall, if you look at the stats in Canada, there's about 91% people that cannot retire by
Yeah.
age 65 financially. So what that means is by the time they're turning 65, either they have not saved enough for their retirement and they will be struggling, because if you look at the life expectancy of an average Canadian, it's about 85 to 90-year old. So 65 is a retirement. So 65 to 85 is about 20, 25 year. And how many people really we know that saves that much money for that 20 years? It's not really happening. So you have to educate yourself so you have and save enough money by the time you turn 65, so you don't have to struggle for retirement. And so at the end of the day, financial education is something which is not quite a topic that people talk about, and that's one of the struggle people are there. Because if you look at colleges, universities, schools, neighbors, nobody really talk about banks, never talk about financial education, how you can do better with your money. So the best person to show interest is yourself. So
Yeah.
you have to find a way, to learn that, then educate yourself so you can do better in your finances.
Yeah. You covered so many great points, starting from the positive mindset. I think if I talk about my personal experience, what I felt wa that if your thinking is limited, your life will be limited. If you have a good mindset, you can improve in all areas of your life, personally, spiritually, financially, and professionally as well. And then the second thing is about the education. We work hard to earn money, and is our job doesn't end here. And the second job starts how to save our hard-earned money.
No, definitely. And that's always a thing, right? Like we always work hard for money, but we don't learn how our money can work hard for us. And it's always great to learn about financial planning and how just not like fully educated, but at least you know the basics, the foundations,
Yeah.
and all, so you can do better than what you were doing earlier.
Which is true. In my case, I was totally unaware about financial education 5 years ago. I grew in my career. I started making more money, and there was the time I started paying taxes. So I took it as a positive sign that I started growing. But then after 2 3 years, the more money I made, and I didn't see that money in my bank account. So then that was the time when I found that, okay, you know what, I was working hard, where is the money going? And then I started searching for the information, okay, which expenses I could file, and slowly I started doing better. My example, just a small example, like, people are making money but they don't know where it is going. That's the most important thing. And unfortunately there is not any educational institute like financial institute which could teach people that how they could actually save their hard-earned money and let it grow. Budgeting plays a very important role in financial planning, and it is so painful because it is painful to develop good habits, good spending habits, to have that control in our life, to have that discipline. What are some of the efficient ways you could suggest to develop a budget and stick to it?
Great question, Aman. When it comes to budget, let's talk about some of the bills that we pay. And this is what I always start with the conversation with people. In your monthly paycheck, from your monthly paycheck, what are some of the bills that you pay no matter what? So on the first of the month, we always pay our rent or mortgage, whatever it is, right, based on what they have. Um, then we pay our hydro bills, we pay our telephone bills, then our internet bills, and so forth. So these are the buckets or the bills that we pay. But if you really think, there is most of the families and most of the people out there, there is no bucket that they pay themselves. This is the question we have to ask ourselves, that we pay all the bills, and you have all these buckets, but what is that bucket that you pay yourself in a disciplined way and you created that habit, and you're keeping that habit and stick to it, like you said. So what I would say is Canadians should save at least 10 to 30% of
Mm.
their paycheck, based on whatever they can afford. If they can afford 5%, 10%, sure, do it.
Yeah,
But make sure
whatever
you,
they can. Yeah.
yeah. So make sure you do it. You'll be surprised. This small habits of saving money over the time, month by month, or year by year, it builds up because every drop counts, right?
Mm.
So it builds up, and if you can learn how to grow that even 10% or 30%, you even do better. So you have
Yeah.
to save 10 to 30% of your paycheck. That is an ideal number, and that you have to think of. You have to put that in terms of make yourself and you make your family wealthy. You're making all these companies wealthy,
Yeah.
like BC Hydro,
Mm.
Fido, Tellus,
Mm.
mortgage. When it comes to mortgage, you're making the bank wealthy, but you're not making yourself wealthy because you're not putting anything in this bucket that you can
Yeah.
save yourself. So this is what I would say.
Yeah. True. I agree with all of your points. If I recall my spending habits 5 years ago, I sat down and I reviewed. I was spending $300 on coffee and on my lunch, and I was freaking out because I never reviewed my expenses. I never reviewed my salary, where it was going, and I was shocked. $3,000 approximately, you could say. I did this for a year,
Mhm.
and then I saw that, if I could make any change here. So what I did, I introduced healthy lifestyle. Just the same money I started putting for buying grocery of fresh vegetables and fruits. I still enjoy coffee whenever I want to, not I have to. I still go out with family to have dinner. I mean, not these days. So before pandemic. So it's all about the discipline, and the most important thing I found out about the habits and the budgeting, that how many rich people, wealthy sportsmen, they file bankruptcies, actors, singers, because they didn't track the money. I mean, they were making money, but they didn't notice where their
How to
money
save it.
was going. And all of
Mhm.
a sudden, when they found that, oh no, they were spending much more than they were earning, and they were in that situation where they had to file bankruptcies. They were left with no money.
Yep. Well, that's a great point you mentioned, Aman. Most people know how to make money, but they
Yeah.
don't know how to save money,
Uh,
right? And it's a very important thing that you mentioned. Even Bollywood actors, Hollywood actors, these celebrities, they're making money. But yeah, like you said, a lot of people are filing bankruptcy. They end up nowhere just
yeah.
because of no not right habits of
Yeah.
saving it, where to save it, and so forth. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm. Okay, when we save money, we have money in the bank account, but it is just sitting there. And as you said, the money should work harder for you. What are
Mhm.
some of the ways money can work harder for us? What are some of the hacks to grow money?
Mhm. Great question, Aman. So when it comes to growing money, there's certain things I would say you have to look at what is the inflation. Now, what's the inflation is basically your cost of living. Uh, if you look at last 10 years, 20 years, last 30 years in Canada, the average inflation rate is about 2 to 3% in Canada. So what that being said, the money that we have in our bank accounts, is it growing over 2 to 3%? Because if it's not, if the inflation rate is 2 to 3%, and let's say you have $100 bill, it keeps shrinking to 97, 94, 91, and it just keeps shrinking every day. What that means is that $100 bill's worth or the value is going down because of the inflation, right? Um, Now, if it's going down, then we have to really grow our money over 3% so that we can always, catch up or more, make more money than the inflation. So that's something that I always say, the efficient way to save money and grow money is make sure your money is growing between 6 to 12% on average at least, so that you can achieve your financial goals. And when I do planning, I properly look at their financial need analysis, and I see where they are at, how they can do better on their same money that is sitting there. But if the money is just sitting there, it's not doing anything. That's what I mean by your money is unemployed. You are employed, but your money is unemployed. It has to work harder than you do. So then only you can achieve your financial goals. Doesn't matter if it's your 5-year goal to buy a house, 10-year goal to do this, 15-year goal to have a great family and this much of savings in your bank account and all this. So the few ways to save money is definitely learn and have proper financial education about yourself. See what your TFSA is doing, your RRSP, and most people are just thinking about real estate and RRSP, but that's not the only two ways that you can, or only two buckets you can save money, because end of the day, to buy real estate, you need a big chunk, you need a down payment, a bigger down payment, and so forth. But these days, looking at the pandemic and
Yeah.
all, how many people really save or have that kind of money to buy real estate and RSP? So what if somebody has only 200, 300, $500 a month that can save? Can they, do they not have the privilege of growing their money?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They can also grow, but it's all about educating themselves, finding a right vehicle, finding the right fund where they can grow. If you have 200, definitely. If anybody has $50, $100 in their pocket, definitely we can start helping, and I can start helping and growing their money and so forth. So those, it's all about education and financial education, where it's not available out there, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the ways.
So in which areas do you help your clients?
I basically do investments. So when it comes to investment, there's RSP, there's TFSA, there's non-registered tax saving, tax advantage accounts. I do work with clients who has, like proper protection plans, like insurance, disability plans, critical illness plans. I also help people with their mortgages, how they can get a better rate. And it's not about just getting a better rate, but it's also about, let's say they have a 25-year, 30-year mortgage, how they can pay off that same mortgage faster or earlier. You know,
Yeah.
it's the goal is not to just pay the house. Let's say you buy a house at
Yeah.
40, and you keep paying your house for 25 years, you're already 65.
Yeah.
So by the time somebody pays off their house, they're 65. But the question is there a way that they can pay it off faster without increasing the
Yeah.
monthly mortgage payment? There are more like strategies that they
Hmm.
can use. We can definitely talk about that. So there is more strategies that they can pay off their house faster, and we're using different methods and strategies, and most people are not aware. In fact, only
Yeah.
5% people in Canada are applying that. Again, it comes down to financial literacy,
Awareness. Yeah.
awareness.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
mhm.
I agree with you. If we even talk about daily life, small examples, I was talking to my friend on the phone the other day. I was just giving him example that how I could save money. How I used to save money whenever I would buy something from Best Buy, because I could do price match. Just this small example, you're going to buy something, which is of $100, and if you are aware that okay, you could buy the same one for $50 or $80 somewhere else, and this one example just is a way to say that the same way financial planning happens, the awareness. As I mentioned earlier, before I didn't, a couple of years ago, I didn't even know that I could file these expenses. And so the more I started learning, the more I started getting aware, the more I started getting the results, and that
Yeah.
set the tone, that motivated me that hey,
Mm.
you know what, I started getting the results. So the same way, the financial education, the awareness can really turn around your life.
Definitely. It plays a huge role out there.
Yeah.
Again, we are just so busy, caught up with
Hmm.
daily things and weekly things, working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, weekend, and that
Yeah.
thing just keep going, right?
Hmm.
And that cycle never ends. But that's why we forget all these important aspects
Hmm.
of life, which plays a very crucial role in our lives.
Talking about the crucial role, there is one more important element of financial planning, which is life insurance.
Mhm.
And without it, I don't think so the financial planning will be complete. I
Mhm.
was reading an article that 43% of the population is without life insurance. And first of all, thank you so much for helping me to choose my life insurance policy and for my family members. I was very confused. Thank you so much. At that time, I
It's
was
okay.
asking you thousands of questions. What do you think?
Mhm. That's great. Great question, Aman. When it comes to life insurance, again, this is a very important aspect of financial planning as well. Most people don't realize that life insurance is not there just for getting a death benefit, payout to the family and all, but it is also there that you can also grow your money inside. What that means is, let's talk about before we talk about life insurance, let's talk about some of the other insurances that we pay on a daily or monthly basis. First thing we pay, if we have a house, we are paying, we have a mortgage, we're paying mortgage insurance. We have a home, uh, we're paying home insurance
Yeah.
to protect from theft and fire and all those things. We pay car insurance. If you drive in Canada, you cannot even take your car out of on the road if you do not have a proper license plate and you're not protected. Because why? Because it's a liability. So, and then people have pet insurance. If they have dog and cat and all, they protect their pets. And if you have a phone, you have your 2-year warranty or your extra protection plan with your phone. You have a laptop, you have a protection plan. When I talk about laptop, it always reminds me few years ago when I went to Best Buy to buy a laptop, and they offered me extra protection plan for my laptop. And that time I did not have critical illness insurance, but my laptop had it. If something happens to my laptop, it will be protected. And I was paying about $25 a month just protection for my laptop. But funny thing is, it's even cheaper for a human being than a laptop.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the question is, we are the one who is paying for this home insurance, car insurance, pet insurance, iPhone, laptop, everything. Uh, who is paying for this? We are the one, or I'm the one as a breadwinner of my family, or income earner of my family. I'm the one paying. But how come I am not protected?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm the one paying for all this and I'm not protected, that does not make any sense. What if something happens to me? Who is going to take care of all these expenses and my family, that income that I was bringing to my family? So you have to see, if you really think about,
Yeah.
care about your family and, and your kids, wife and all, you'll have to think about them, not just yourself. Life insurance is not about yourself. It's about protecting your family in
Yeah.
case something happens to you. So life insurance plays a very crucial role. Again, it just helps you protect yourself from the unforeseen event that may happen in your life. And when you talk about life insurance, there is other things as well, like disability, critical illness, and so forth. And when you talk about critical illness, there is a big stats in Canada. In fact, 2 out of 5 are expected to develop cancer in their lifetime in Canada. And again, developing cancer is again your diet, your lifestyle, everything depends on it. But if you look at the stats, 2 out of 5 Canadians, that's a big stat. If you look at Statistics Canada, these numbers are out there. So in fact, over 400,000 Canadians are living with their long-term stroke disability. These are big numbers out there. So, when you talk about insurance, this is a living benefit, but life insurance protects you from life. But there are different types of life insurance. Obviously, life insurance is not just, someone is dying and you get the benefit. There is a permanent life insurance as well, where you can really protect yourself and you can grow your money inside the life insurance in a tax efficient way, tax advantage way. Um, so there is an investment component inside the life insurance, and most people are not aware of that. And in fact, this is one of the best thing, and most wealthy and rich people out there. In fact, 9% Canadians, they all have these plans. and that's also called IRP, or Insured Retirement Plan. And it's there, and most people are not aware of it because it's only available for those high net worth Canadians, that are VIP clients at the bank. But unfortunately, that's very unfortunate. But I'm very fortunate enough to help out that middle Canadians, and then helping them with protecting their income, and at the same time growing their money inside in life insurance. So yeah, it is a very important aspect of financial planning.
Very well explained, and thank you so much all these points. And you're doing such an amazing job helping the people and educating them financially, protecting their families. Before we end our conversation, what 3, 4 things you think people should be doing right now, and they are easy to do? They can even start doing today.
Mhm. Great question, Aman. What I would say is first thing they should do is basically create a habit of saving money. Again, the numbers, it can vary based on someone's income and that they can save, but you have to create a habit of saving money. So when it comes to that, when you get your paycheck, you have to have a bucket that says pay yourself first. You know, pay yourself first, and then whatever the leftover money, then you pay the other bills that you have. But we forget the first one, which is to
Yeah.
pay yourself first. So it's about, again, some people might say, oh, I don't have any money to pay myself. But again, you have to create that habit, that positive mindset, whatever it is, whether it's $50, $100, whatever it is, that number for you. But you have to create that habit. And over the time, as I mentioned, you'll be surprised to see the number. Oh, I was able to do this, and you'll be proud of yourself, right? So that create a habit is first thing. Second, I would say you have to cut down your unnecessary spending habits. Sometimes we tend to take different things, buy different things, clothing and a grocery, and we tend to go over budget. You have to have budget for those things, monthly budget. If you're going over and you're really buying things that you don't really need it, you have to cut down that. And you gave a great example on this, that cutting down coffee, buying lunch from outside. And again, that's not a healthy lifestyle too. You can make your food, like you said, vegetable, fruits. You can spend that money there and bring your own lunch to your workplace, and cut down coffee. Maybe, I'm not saying don't buy coffee at all, but at least cut down some,
Yeah.
maybe 2, 3, you, instead of doing 5 days, do it 2 days, slowly. And
Yeah.
then bring coffee from home, right?
Yeah.
Buy a machine. That's a better investment than
Yeah.
buying coffee. And that. Third thing I would say is you have to allow your mind to learn more about financial literacy. You know, so because the best person that has the most interest about all this is yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for us. We have to learn and do it for ourselves. And so allow yourself to learn financial literacy and see somebody. Go sit down with somebody that can teach you about financial planning one-on-one. I'm happy to sit down with some of the people that are looking, and I do this for complimentary, for free. I provide financial education for free, and I look at the entire finances and I see where they are at and how I can make them better by having the same plans. Maybe this is not the plan we want. Maybe
Yeah.
tweak it, maybe change it, maybe modify it. If they're doing really well, sure, keep it as it is, no problem, right? But it always helps when you have a second
Yeah.
opinion from somebody else, right? But yeah, so allow yourself to learn that, absorb that information, and kind of, because we always work hard for our money, right? We have to learn how we can do better for ourselves, and by having our money work for us, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, brother, for this valuable information.
My pleasure,
I
man.
wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you for your time, and keep doing great. Keep helping the families, keep protecting them. I hope you find some value from our conversations. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comments. Stay safe and strong. Take care.